Stock market analysis and projections on the S&P 500. Here's some important information first that tells you about our analysis and what it means for you when you use that analysis for your own trading and investing. Be sure to read this slide. Stock market analysis, S&P 500. We're going to look at the SPX intermediate analysis plus some of our proprietary studies that I think you're going to find so important to the analysis and may be very important to you. And I'll tell you how you can actually get some of these proprietary studies. So let's switch over to the analysis as we look at the S&P 500. This is the weekly chart of the S&P 500, and essentially we're looking at the bull market here that started back here in October of 22 and then has rallied all the way up through where we are now coming to the end of 23. Our upside projection for the year was around 4350 on the S&P 500, and certainly it moved well beyond that. We thought it would be a bull market year, and it certainly has been, and we thought that the Dow would be the only one in this bull market that could make it to an all-time high, because I thought the money would be moving into those cyclicals, old economy stocks. It turns out that ended up to be correct. But now we have to say that all the indexes, well, not the Russell, but the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ certainly have a shot at all-time highs. Now with the S&P 500 less than 2% from the all-time high. You can see on that chart what we have marked off right now as we see the rise in here. Now you can see the cycle patterns as they are in here. This cycle a little bit on the short side but clear. This cycle a little bit on the long side but clear. This correction here about 10.9%, which is very much in line with really a small correction in a bull market. And you can see in here that we have these beautiful cycle rhythms and this advance 7 straight weeks on the upside here in the S&P 500. This is the bottom of the fib extension. That's the 78.6% fib extension. This is the 100% up here. And you can see the 100% is at 4,900. And that's why this upper green track is in there, because it points to that level. Here's your all-time high, 48.1862, and you can see where that comes across right over here. Now, I talked about in the beginning of the show that I thought that there was likely going to be a corrective period ahead. This is really an interesting spot, and the market is very overbought right now, and I'll show you that on the short term in a moment. This would be a great spot for this market to stall and then go into a correction. Now, this is where the ideal low is, in between these two lines, and here's the center of it right here, which comes out to the end of January. So this looks to me like the highest probability would be a decline out into here. That's like this one right in here that you can see, and that was pretty steep. That came down from around 4,100 down to around 3765. So it was about 240 points on the downside. This one that happened right over here was just absolutely super strong, and that mid-cycle low that we call it right over there, and that only fell from 44.48 down to 43.22. So that was 126 points in the absolute strongest condition that you'll ever see. We call this a swamped cycle. If this turns out to be similar to that, then you would see that at least 120 to maybe 180 points on the downside. Supports right now are this 23.6%. You can see the projection there at 45.86. That would be about 140 point decline, or to this level right over here, just under 4,500, which would be over 200 points in a correction in here. It is extremely likely that there will be a correction from sometime here in December to sometime here out in late January to early February. That is very unlikely to bring us a peak in the bull market. It is much more likely that the peak comes out over here, or at least the peak in this leg, and that would take you out into the late February to late March period. And then here is that big period of risk. You can see the period of risk here, big decline, period of risk here, big decline, period of risk here, big decline, and that's out over here. I have talked about the fact that I thought that interest rates were going to pop out into March, April, and that I thought that would negatively affect the stock market. That's where this comes in over here. So I'm trying to do, about a 1 to 4 month projection right now when I look at this, and it calls for this upside launch to stall and then probably chop and then get into some corrective period in here. I'm going to call it 120 to 220 points that it pulls back in the S&P 500. And then out over here, February into March, it regains that and potentially goes to an all-time high. Some people might say, well, why wouldn't it go to an all-time high right now? Well, the only argument I have, because all of our analysis points to the upside right now, is an extreme overbought condition. I'm going to switch over now, and this is looking at the shorter term. I'm looking at a daily analysis in here, and this is an area chart that uses the slim ribbon on there, the slim ribbon PO, and down over here, this fantastic option bias indicator, the OBI. The OBI does a fantastic job of telling you when there's a trend and when there's an extreme. You could see right over here when it was very weak, these red dots are telling you the market's in negative condition. Even when momentum neutralized, it told you it was still in bad shape. Here is where it was extreme on the downside over here at the end of October, and it gave you a bottom warning right over here. Those are those orange dots of extreme oversold right there. Now you can see it gave you all of these positive readings. This tells you put your option biases in on the long side. That's what it's built for. And now it's giving you this top warning right over here, and it says this is an extreme. So I talked about the likelihood of at some point very soon we are seeing the market stall right now, and that is likely going to happen as we get into this period right over here. Let me get this chart back up. Let me move this out of the way. As we get into this period right over here where we're in these resistance areas right there, that says to me that there's some pretty significant resistance between the bottom of this fib extension area, this fib extension level right over here. So that's right over here at right around 47.33. We have it labeled on our some of our other charts. This level is 47.80 approximately, 47.77, and of course you have this peak right here at 48.18. Very likely to run into trouble here. We're extremely overbought. Get into a chopper period, get a correction over here sometime into mid to late January, fall between 120 and 220 points, and then move up again. What I give you is the sum of the evidence, the highest probabilities all of the time. This is our indicator in here that is our reversal scout, and when it's moving up on the weekly chart, it tells you that there are issues for the shorts. You are selling under these conditions, you could get really in trouble. However, when you get momentum peak, as you see right over here, and especially moving into a period of risk, that's a period you would expect the market to go down right over here. So that would be what would be expected out over here, but really not until sometime in February into March and April where that risk is. For now, just chop, come down, and then move to the upside again. Let's look at some of our proprietary indicators in here just so you can get a feel for the things that we're looking at. This is our market, our MCM, Market Condition Monitor, which is just an incredible application. This is available for our level 3 and level 4 members. We're looking at the version right now that's available for level 4, and you can see in here that we're looking at the S&P 500, the QQQ, the IWM, and the DAI. This, of course, are the 4 major indexes we look at, and this shows you right over here the setup conditions right now, and they are very bullish, bullish, and very bullish. This change log over here tells you when things change in there, and you can actually switch based on your trader type here. If you want to know the conditions in the short term, you can see them right there, and they're all very bullish looking at that. So there's no question about that. that the indicators have kept our people on the long side. And like I said earlier in the show, we've gotten some great emails from people that have done very well using our proprietary indicators and analysis. Let's go back to the intermediate term right over here. And you can see in here, I can just look at the setup conditions. I'm just going to scroll right over here. And you see here the top four of the very bullish right there are XME, EWZ, URA, uranium has been amazing, and Shopify, very bullish. I can scroll down in here and you can see Micron, XLK, SMH, those semiconductor stocks doing just absolutely super well. Let's just go to the bearish side here and you see Pfizer, FXI, BABA, that's China and a Chinese stock, and the corn market, all very weak. So this is a just absolutely fabulous set of indicators that we have in here. Again, level 3 and 4. Level 4s, you can then set up notifications, as you see right over there. You can tell it when you want these conditions you want it to notify you about these conditions. So it's just fantastic in there. So just great information you can get out of here. One more thing I want to show you for the longer term traders. This is our askSlim momentum tracker that you can see, and this is the looking at some of the indexes right over here. This has got just a huge amount of groups that are put in there that you can look at. I wanted you to see the diamonds right over here. They've just made an all-time high, of course, and those conditions, long-term, intermediate, and short-term, are, you can see, all very bullish. If I go here and just click on that little arrow, I'm just going to bring up the chart so that you can see. Remember, this is for a 3-month plus outlook right over there. So we're going to pull up this chart. And you can see in here this fantastic chart that has just kept you on the long side. This goes all the way back to basically January of this year. And you can see where it gets very positive, where it gets less positive. And look right over here in November where it went from mixed, where it made that low. So the indications were mixed, to slightly positive to very positive right there. And for investors, that just kept you on the correct side of the market. So that's just unbelievable information that you could see in there. And I encourage people, if you're not a member, become a level 1 member and you can get the momentum tracker. It's just an unbelievable application for you to use. I wanted you to see that as we have looked now at this analysis. Just reviewing, we looked at the weekly analysis. It showed very strong conditions, now running into a resistance area, coming up to an area the market likely is to chop and then correct out into January, late January potentially. The daily chart would show an extreme overbought condition, and overall the apps are telling you the market is in very strong condition. And if there is this pullback we're looking for that comes based on the cyclical rhythms or the energies in the market, it is not likely to last long on the downside and much more likely to go back to the upside again. And certainly not what I originally was looking for was the potential for an all-time high in the S&P 500. But the analysis is now showing that is a potential. That is the look at the stock market. I hope you love that analysis. Make sure that you send people to our site so that they can get this unbelievable analysis from what is maybe the best analytical team out there. askSlim holiday specials for 2023 are now available. Give the gift of askSlim. Go to our website at askSlim.com and you can learn more. Or write to Matt at askSlim.com. And you can get all the information about our great services. This is what the holiday special is. Give the gift of askSlim for 2023. We have special rates. That's 3-month memberships, non-recurring. That means if you give the gift to somebody, well, you don't have to worry about them getting billed again. Or if you want to take it for yourself, it's just for 3 months. Then you'll have to decide whether or not you want to stay on with that membership. Give the gift to someone you know who loves trading, or to somebody who loves technical analysis, or give the gift to yourself. It's great for first-time members or for those of you that want to try a higher level and want to upgrade. And we're going to give you a bonus gift That means you give the gift to yourself or somebody else, and we're going to give you a gift. For level 2, sign up for 3 months for $114.75. We're going to send you back an Amazon gift card for $20. For level 3, give that special for just $232 for 3 months, and we're going to send you back $50. And for level 4, $303.75 for 3 months. Unbelievable deal, because we're going to send you back an Amazon gift card for $100. And our level 4 memberships includes our custom Thinkorswim charts. You can upload those right to the platform, and you will get all of our proprietary studies that you've seen that are just amazing. To sign up, go to askSlim.com, and you can write to Matt at askSlim.com for all the information that you need. The askSlim holiday specials for 2023. Give that gift of askSlim.